Hi, my name is Sierra, and today is January 8th. It's 12:52 p.m. I just spent the last hour journaling, and honestly, I hate to say it, that ding for confirmation, I do feel better. I used to journal almost every day, and then I don't know, over time I started journaling less and less. And when I say I was journaling every day, that was probably like maybe for like a year. And I felt like really good, really clear on like my thoughts and my ideas. And that was while I was in grad school, especially the time that I was thinking about leaving grad school and trying to figure out like what would I do next and things like that. And so I did end up mastering out of my PhD program. And then I took a gap year, which was really like a gap 8 months, because those student loan repayments started kicking back in, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a job. I stopped journaling as frequently. Now it's been like 3 years almost since then, and I recently got fired from my job, and I was feeling so much anger and like heaviness within me, like even though I know that it's what's best for me. And yeah, ultimately, I ended up journaling again, and I have been journaling more frequently again, and suddenly I'm feeling better. So it's almost like getting my thoughts and ideas out there make me feel better. So yeah, that's what I just did. The other day I also journaled for an hour. And it's so funny because I go into it like, oh, I'll only write a page. I don't even have to say that much. And like when I get to the bottom of the page, I'm like, do I want to keep going? Do I have and then next thing you know, I'm filling up 3, 4, 5 pages. So I'm glad I got that out. And it's made me a bit more hopeful. And honestly, when I pulled out the camera, it was like after I had started writing already for a while, like I had no intentions of filming today. But once I started writing, I was like, I feel like I want to share what I'm writing. Like I feel like what I'm writing and saying could help someone else. So that's why I decided to do that. Today, I also need to draw my custom tattoo for one of my clients. So I've just been charging my iPad back here. So that's what I'm going to do next. Now that I don't have a job, I have plenty of free time to work on my tattoo career. Basically, I was a teacher and I was teaching more on the full time side and tattooing on the part time side. Now that I'm not teaching, suddenly, gosh dang it, I'll talk to y'all in a minute. I forget where I was exactly, but basically, I was saying now that I'm not teaching, I have all of this time to dedicate to tattoo, which is great because basically, I would come home and either like get all my stuff and go to my tattoo studio immediately if I had a client that day, or I would be like editing content for my TikTok because I make a lot of content for tattooing, and that seems to be the place that I get most of my clients from. I post stuff on Instagram and YouTube as well about me tattooing, but every time I ask my clients how they found out about me, they always say TikTok. So I think TikTok is a great marketing strategy. But yeah, I don't know. I always wanted tattooing to be my full time job. I guess it just happened sooner than I thought it was going to do, or sooner than I thought it was going to happen. And it's funny because that's basically what happened with my studio too. I had my apprenticeship, I quit, and within a few months, I had my private studio and I got my business license, and bada bing, bada boom. Next thing you know, I've got my studio, I've got my license, I've got clients. December actually was my best month, despite that being like tattoo slow season. And literally during December is like when my job started falling apart. My partner had a seizure randomly. She's never had one before, so we were in the hospital. I was sick. I had like a fever of over 101. And it was just, it felt like everything was like boom, crash, 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 crash. And like how they were treating me at my school, especially while I was sick and while my partner was sick, and just everything that was going on, it was like becoming very apparent to me that I probably would not be returning for the next school year. I never thought that I was going to be leaving in the middle of the school year. I feel sad that I wasn't able to say goodbye to my students, but with how my relationship was with my coworkers, and by coworkers I mean I only worked with two other individuals and their mother and daughter, I couldn't see how I was going to navigate working around that toxic dynamic and continue to work, I was still going to be willing to do it because I was just like, I just won't really interact with them unless I need to. I'll do what I'm told because that's my job. But other than that, I'm there for the kids. I'm focused on the kids. And they were basically like, yeah, no, we're just going to fire you. And I asked why. I asked what the reason was. I know what the reason was. I know the reason was that the issues that I was having with my coworkers, which were personal issues. And I had told them based on how they spoke to me, which was very disrespectfully, and I should add, they were both white women, that I was going to go to the board to, try to figure out something because I did not like how I was being spoken to. And, they went ahead, went behind my back. And next thing I know, I'm getting an email the day after Christmas that I'm fired. So I don't know what they told them, what conversation they had. I replied to that email trying to say what happened and why I believed I was being fired, and that I wanted a reason as to why I was fired because I've never been in trouble. I've never been written up. I've never had any issues. There's never been any warnings. So the fact that I was just getting fired came out of the blue. And they basically told me that they would not be providing a reason and that there would be no further contact. I don't know how that situation is going to continue to go. Honestly, like I said, like I've, with the beginning of the year, having my toxic apprenticeship and having to walk away from that, going to my teaching job that started off really great and I had a great relationship with these people, to it turning toxic, that was actually more hurtful. It felt like unexpected. It came out of nowhere. And so I knew that I wanted to do and be a tattoo artist full time. I just thought I was going to wait until it made me what I felt was a certain amount of money, and when I felt comfortable and when it was a good time, like at the end of the school year. So I was already thinking like, let me see how much money I'm making from tattooing by the end of the school year, which would have been the end of May. And so with that, I would have had, it's January right now, I still would have had like 5, 6-ish months to see where I was. And by that point, I'd be almost a year into my studio. And so I was just thinking, well, once I've hit a year, let me reevaluate, see where I'm at. And yeah, I guess I didn't have to do that. God made way, parted the sea, whatever, and said, actually, the time is now. And it was funny because during December, I felt like my life was falling apart with everything that was happening. And then on the flip side, I was getting the most followers I had gotten on social media, the most like engagement, the most clients. And I ended up going to Puerto Rico with my partner for Christmas because that's where her family decided to spend Christmas this year. And I've never met her family, even though we've been dating for 4 years. I mean, I met her parents, but not like her extended family. And so also, both of our birthdays are in December. I should add that too. So it was already going to be a hectic month, but it was like a month I was looking forward to. I'm always looking forward to my birthday, because it's a time that I can, have fun, make cool plans. Typically I would spend more money on myself, treat myself to like a nice relaxing experience or a nice dinner or a nice outfit. So, and the same goes with my partner. Like, I would want to extra spoil her during that time. And so it just, it made it very hard to focus on like those things. And then on top of that, I've actually fallen out with like 4 friends. Was it four? Three friends this year. And all for different reasons, all friends I've known for different times. But the main like big part of why those relationships ended, I would say, is communication. I'm a very direct and honest person. I'm like, hey, this thing happened. It's bothering me. I want to talk about it. I want to fix it, whatever. And the other people either disappeared, got defensive, or tried to like spin the table back to me and acted as if I was a terrible friend. In fact, my boss even did that. When I was saying the issues that I was having, she tried to flip it back to me. And so I don't know. I don't enjoy the counterattack. I don't enjoy the defensiveness and denial and gaslighting. And I definitely don't enjoy the just straight up disappearing and not communicating at all. But now that I've had conversations with people, it's almost like I, in a way, and I know this is going to sound crazy, especially to pass me, in a way, respect the people who just disappear more, because then I haven't wasted my time and energy on a conversation that was never going to go anywhere. You never had the intentions to see my side or understand my side or hear me out. You weren't even curious. You didn't even like wonder why I came to that conclusion. or why I felt that way. You weren't even apologetic or sorry. So when someone just disappears, it's hurtful, but it's like because I'm a direct person, I would rather someone just be like, I don't agree with you. I don't want to have this conversation. The friendship is cut off. And I could respect that even more than just straight up disappearing. It's just, I'm saying that sometimes what I found is that maybe it is the better route to not have a conversation at all. And I feel like that was one of the things that I had to learn this year. I tried to speak to my tattoo mentor about our issues that blew up in my face, tried to speak to my friends about our issues that blew up in my face, tried to speak to my director at my teaching job that blew up in my face. And so I felt like really depressed, and I'm still working my way out of that because I was having these feelings like it's not safe for me to say how I feel. It's not safe for me to say what's going on. It's not safe for me to be honest. People don't appreciate honesty. I'm attacked. I'm discarded. I'm, whatever, insulted. And I think now I'm coming back around to being like, the annoying answer, which is that it is safe for me to be honest. And if my honesty scares people off, then, that's fine. Those people don't need to be in my life. My honesty won't scare off the people that it's necessary, or my honesty won't scare off the people who are not afraid, I guess, to have those open dialogues as well. It won't scare off the right people. And, also just learning like discernment, that there's a time and a place and a person that can take honesty. And so I have to ask myself, is this the right time to tell this person? Is this the right place to tell this person? And is this the right person that I can share my honesty with, and will it be well received? I think that in the cases of some of my friendships, and even to some degree my coworkers, I thought it would be received well, and it wasn't. And so again, that goes back into me feeling like kind of this upsetness with myself, like why did I think I could be honest with these people? And I'm just trying to give myself some grace and recognize that like discernment is something that takes time. I just turned 27, and I'm not necessarily going to immediately know how to have the best conversations and who to have those conversations with. And I'm learning that over time. I feel like moving forward, especially when it comes to jobs, well, now that I'm an entrepreneur, I don't even have to worry about a boss. The conversation is with me. But say if I ever had like an apprentice or an employee, not that I'm planning on doing that anytime soon, I feel like my communication would be better, and that I would be a better boss based on my situations. And any new friendships I have coming in, I believe that I would be a better friend based on what's happened in the past. And I'm grateful for the friends that I do still have around. And honestly, like, I'm just really glad that I do have a support system, period, because there's been other times in my life where I've had a lot of fallout, and I felt like I had no support and I was completely alone. And I still pulled myself out of it eventually. And so I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm in this weird place of knowing that things will get better eventually, and things currently still are good. I still have my business, and I'm still having clients, and I still have to draw. I have to draw something today because I have a tattoo appointment tomorrow. And so everything is still in a good place. It's just I'm battling like the hurt of the betrayal versus like knowing that I will still be better off. And so I feel like that's a big thing that I've been journaling about, is like, how do I be grateful for the life that I have and accept God's and the universe's plan, and know that everything's going to be better, and know that, they would not take away anything from me that was meant for me. Like, if those people or situations were meant to be in my life, they would be in my life. And so I guess I'm having difficulty with that last step of accepting that that's true. And that, like, so it's like it's just a weird feeling trying to balance that, of like, I know that I'm on the right path, but ouch, that still hurt that happened. And maybe other people can relate to that, and that's why I'm sharing that now. I'm gonna go ahead and get to drawing because I feel like I've honestly been procrastinating this all week. I have other designs, like not a single person has booked a single flash this month. Every single tattoo on my docket is a custom tattoo. So I have a lot of drawing to do. So it's not even like I don't have stuff to take up my time. I have books that I'm reading. I got an e-reader for my birthday. My books go color 7. So I'm just like, I have books to read, I have drawings to draw, I have meditations and yoga and workouts to do because I finally got a gym membership. You know, I have a lot more time to focus on myself and focus on my business and focus on my hobbies and focus on the things that make me happy. And so I'm trying to just stay in that mindset of gratitude, and I guess trying to figure out how to make space for those other feelings that I know that are still there. But let me stop procrastinating and draw this design. They want like a spiral with willow leaves. And honestly, I'm really excited to do a lot of these custom drawings that I have coming up. It's more just that because of where I've been in my mind, I haven't been like focused on making these designs. So, gonna get to work on that now. My client actually sent me some sketches of like what she was thinking of. So, I'm just going to insert her photos of the designs that she drew, and then I'm going to get to work. I think I can just like screen record and y'all should be able to see what I'm doing, but first I need to come up with a design. Not that it should be too difficult because like I said, she gave me a sketch of like what she was thinking she wanted, but you know, I gotta do it in my own font, my own flavor. So I will see y'all in a second, or you will catch me drawing in a second. I've got this lap table because I just love drawing and doing things in my bed. This one is actually my girlfriend's. Oof, already hate that. See how I'm like just starting with the spiral, and I'm already like, but okay, I gotta lock in, time to lock in. It's gonna be like a spiral, oof, a spiral at the nape of her neck. And then it's going to be feeding into these willow tree leaves. Woof. See, this be my problem. I'm a perfectionist. Oh, go about this. Yes. See, I feel like that's part of the issue is that there's like all these what's it called? Pens, pencils, etc. On Procreate, so it's kind of hard to choose. I think I'll come in and add the details later. Also, if you're wondering, this tattoo is supposed to be 150, so I'm not going into like extreme detail, and there will be some shading, but not like a crazy amount. But yeah, it's, I think I was saying before, it's supposed to start at the nape of her neck. So it's going to be a spiral and then willow leaves coming down from that. Try to move the reference. She was like picturing it going like kind of squiggly, and then she wanted to add a waning gibbous moon and like some stars. So also I'm having like vacation withdrawal because low-key I feel like I should have drawn these while I was in Puerto Rico. I was feeling so inspired while I was there. Actually, funnily enough, the last time I was there was last March. Not last March. Oh my gosh, it's been even longer. 2 Marches ago? Yeah. And that was actually when I decided that I wanted to be a tattoo artist. I had already been thinking about it for a while, but I was just like so inspired by the art while I was there. And I was just like, dang, I don't know how much these people are making or anything like that. I don't even know if they're making any money at all. But I realized like it didn't matter if I was making any money from making art, that I knew I just needed to make art. Um, because like I said, I was just so inspired, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm so inspired, let's just go ahead and do it and not focus on, oh, will this make me any money? Because I feel like, that goes back to America and feeling like, well, also because there be bills, and they're not going down right now. So I just was like, okay, but would I rather have a job that I hate and be financially stable, or would I rather do something that I love and be happy? And I chose I'd rather be happy. However, that does not mean it was an easy choice in the beginning, especially when I was in my apprenticeship, because apprenticeships are unpaid. I was very like, oh my god, I'm so broke. But the thing is like when I did have my job in STEM, and I was making pretty decent money, and I was even able to save, and I was able to do all these things and go on these trips and go to all these concerts and buy all the clothes that I wanted. It didn't like make me happy. I was happy when I was doing those things, but I was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to be happy living my life, but I'm not happy when I go to work, and work was what was taking up most of my time. Most of the time I was working like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., especially when I was a TA in grad school. And so it was just like, is this really worth it? I'm living for my weekends. That didn't seem worth it to me. And so I just decided, okay, I'm going to leave grad school, try to figure out what I want to do. Took me a very long time. And when I was in that gap year, aka that gap 8 months, I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm already not making money doing my gap year. So I was like, if I'm not going to make any money with that, I might as well go ahead and try and make money, even if it's minimal, from making art. I also just wanted to take a chance on myself. It's like if I could be this successful as a scientist and make this money and get these degrees, and everybody's always like, oh my god, STEM is so hard, like how did you do that? And trust me, sometimes I barely do. But with that being said, I was like, well, clearly I've proven to myself I can do hard things. If I can do these hard things that I don't even like doing, let me try doing something hard that I want to do. And so that's what I did. And here we are almost 2 years later, because like I said, it wasn't this March of 2025, it was March of 2024. It's about to be March of 2026. Well, not really, because it's January, but you know what I mean. I never thought I would be even this far 2 years later. So I'm really happy about that. I feel proud of myself. And I feel like I've proven to myself that it is possible to make money from art. Is it easy? No. It's still work. And I still sometimes don't want to do it, but I don't not want to do it more than how I felt waking up going to TA for those classes or things like that. Oh my goodness, you know what? I'm going to delete everything I just drew because I just realized I did it on the same layer. And I don't like to do my drawings on the same layer. Oh my god. And now I just realized I did all of that on the same layer of an image. Okay. So I need to erase this. Right? Yeah. Basically, I imported those images. Those images were a layer. I drew my image on, well, my tattoo design on the layer with a picture instead of on a separate layer, which was annoying and very rookie mistake of me. But now I just fixed that, and now I can turn this layer back on and just erase my tattoo design because I duplicated the layer. These are the things nobody sees. Also, I don't know if that's going to be like in the time lapse. Basically, when you draw in Procreate, there's like a setting to like export your time lapse of your drawing. So we'll see. Oh, that was the eraser. I think I need to do it a little bit smaller. It's like I don't want it like crazily smaller. See, like that might be too much smaller. Okay. And see, I'm saying all this stuff, but honestly, it's fun. I'm not complaining about my job. I love drawing, and mostly the hardest part is getting started. Maybe that's the ADHD, the undiagnosed ADHD. That's the other thing. I had just gotten on healthcare finally after like not having healthcare for a very long time that I'm not going to share how long. And it was because I was finally getting a salary for my job. I started as a sub, then I was a teaching assistant, and then I was a co-teacher, and I had gotten certified. So I was like, yeah, making my way up, finally got that salary. And my job doesn't provide healthcare, but they did provide me with a healthcare stipend. So I was like, okay, I'm now making enough money to go ahead and get some healthcare. And I was like, finally, I'm going to get diagnosed with ADHD or whatever I have going on. I'm going to get a therapist again because I was in therapy for 3 years while I was in grad school, and it was amazing. Hope I can find as amazing of a therapist as I had before, if not better. I know the universe will provide though, so. But yeah, I'm still going to do those things. That's, I guess, the good part of me not having healthcare through my job is that I still have healthcare even though I don't have a job with them anymore. Because I still have a job, it's just tattooing. I don't know, it's like exciting and frightening at the same time. And I'm pretty sure I read before that actually those are like the same responses, like, because not to be weird here when I say this, but the feeling is like arousal, and anxiety is like an arousing feeling, not in that weird way that you're probably thinking of. And so it's excitement. And so they like trigger some of the same parts of the brain. And so I've been trying to shift my mindset of like, am I anxious? I do have anxiety. Or am I excited? And a lot of the time, it feels like anxiety, and that anxiety is coming from like, oh my God, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. But that being said, instead of being anxious about the unknown, I would like to choose to be excited. Like, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen next. I'm so excited to see how tattooing is going to continue to grow and evolve for me. I'm so excited to have more clients and get to do more meaningful designs. I'm excited. So, if you're feeling like, I don't know what's going on in the world and I'm scared, that's real. But try, if you want to be like me, to shift that anxiety to excitement. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. Kind of like reading a book. It's like a page turn. Life is definitely a page turn. Okay. I don't know if she'll like all those extra details. That's why I put them on a different layer so that way I could turn it off and show her like, hey, we don't have to do this. I'm also going to do a different detail layer in case she doesn't want that, because she did like draw like, I don't know, these little, honestly it'll be easier to show you guys when you see the design, but basically she added these like lines with like circles and stuff, and so like circles at the end, but I think I want to change them to more spirals. She's already got some other spirals in the design at the top, but what if we kept it as a motif throughout? I don't know, could be kind of cute. Or is it? I don't know if I like it. I'm gonna say, maybe I'll draw the lines, and then on another layer I'll draw the spirals versus the circles that she put in her design. That's what I'm thinking. So let's start with just some lines, some wispy lines. I finished the design. This is my favorite version of the design, but I gave a lot of different options because she wanted like these stars and this moon. So like, this is more close to what she asked for, but I feel like it looks a bit cluttered. I don't care for the star and the moon. I feel like the moon especially could be a separate tattoo. I also drew spirals instead of circles to see what that would look like. I thought that was interesting. Also did a plain one that didn't include either, but this looks pretty dry. So, like I said, I think this is my favorite. And I don't mean like she can't include the other stuff if she doesn't want to. It's just not my favorite. But I have officially made it to 2:52 p.m. I sent her the designs. I always give like multiple designs because I'm the type of person when I draw, I'm like, what if I did this? What if I did that? What if I did this, or this? So I typically send my clients like options, especially when it comes to like different shading. Like when I did a Beyonce tattoo, I was like, we could color in the code, or we could color in the outfit, or we could color in. So point is that I like to give my clients a lot of options. But yeah, now it's about to be 3 p.m. and I haven't eaten or left the house. And I've been up for a while. I don't know what I'm gonna call this video. This was pretty much just a day in my life, not including the TikTok that I made earlier today. Obviously, I don't think it makes sense for me to like film every single thing, but you know, brushed my teeth, washed my face, cleaned my gauges, replied to clients, posted on my TikTok, filmed a voiceover for that TikTok, drew my design for my tattoo that I'm doing tomorrow. And yeah, that was pretty much what today looked like. I woke up around like 10, and like I said, it's about to be 3, but that's okay because now it's about that time to hit that, if you know what I mean, and find something to eat. I'm gonna go to the gym when my girlfriend gets home. She usually gets home around like 4:30 when she's not coaching. So yeah, I think we're gonna go to the gym, and I'm making a salmon salad for dinner, but that's pretty much it. I don't think I need to film the rest of my day. Maybe I'll take some clips on my phone at the gym or when I'm cooking. No promises though. Really, I just wanted to talk about what was on my heart and what's been going on and give an update because I haven't posted like long form video in a while. And honestly, it's just because I've had too much going on and I've been tired and I was sick. So I'm happy to be back now, happy to be more consistent, especially since it's literally my job now. And I will see y'all in the next video. And if I do anything else, I guess I'll just add some clips at the end. But yeah, other than that, thanks for tuning in. It was nice chatting to y'all. If you have any thoughts or comments on anything that I said, feel free to leave a comment. I do typically read all of my comments, so I try to reply to them all. And yeah, I'm excited to see where my channel and where my content's going to go for the rest of this year, and of course where my tattoo career is going to go for the rest of this year. And maybe I'll bring my camera tomorrow when I tattoo, and then I can film that too and add that so y'all can see how the tattoo came out. But either way, I'm really excited. I've always wanted to do like spiritual, intuitive, like downloads for meditation type of tattoos, and I feel like this like spiral with like the willow leaves is like right up my wheelhouse of like me trying to go in that direction. Don't get me wrong, it's cool and fun to do cutesy, fun, silly tattoos, but as someone who is a spiritual person, I would love to meet other spiritual people and help bring to life their designs and like what they're imagining, especially because they usually have such deep meaning. And not that all tattoos have to have meaning, they can also just be for fun. That's also healing in itself. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like that was like one of the things that made me excited about tattooing, is when I saw like certain tattoo artists that did all of those things, like I'm gonna do a sound bowl meditation and Reiki, and I'm gonna intuitively draw a piece for you. And I even recently got some stick and poke needles, so adding that to my repertoire of things that I want to do, because for the longest time I was always interested in it, but like I feel like because I was going the traditional route initially with my apprenticeship, it was kind of like almost frowned upon, not in the sense that like stick and poke is bad, but just that like I don't know, maybe it was just my mentor or the people that I was around, but you know, it was all very machine heavy, which is fine. I love my machine, but you know, over time I've still been really interested in stick and poke tattoos. So I'm like, okay, well, if I can tattoo with a machine, what's stopping me from doing a stick and poke? Nothing. So now I'm planning on offering both. So yeah, once again, I'm just yapping, so let me not keep yapping because that's what always happens. I will see y'all later or in the next video. Bye. abs are sore from doing an ab workout yesterday. I haven't smoked since yesterday, so this is my first time smoking, and woo-wee. You never realize how much you use your abs until they're sore. I'm talking getting up out of bed. I'm talking coughing, laughing, whatever. Ooh, but you know, sore means that I did something, I think. So abs coming in soon.